too.
Did you guys hear that?
I did.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I wasn't if you guys can hear that as well. And Karina, I'll keep in touch with you through the chat regarding any questions that come up, so you don't have to pay attention to that if you don't.
Okay, cool. And we're
So you don't get distracted. It's
good.
up to you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, so people are just coming on. I think that we'll introduce everybody now. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. Welcome to another installment of our Retail Next webinar series. And on behalf of the fabulous AFA Canada Board of Directors, thank you so much for tuning in. AFA Canada is very pleased to once again pull the community together, albeit virtually, and offer today's session, Retail the Next Generation. I just was talking to these guys and I learned a new phrase called shoe puppies. And I love it. So welcome, shoe puppies. So much in retailing has changed over the years, and the past 18 months has probably seen the most change and the most need for flexibility and adaptability in any year previous. So we're happy to bring together today, you guys, four passionate retailers who mostly have grown up in the business or not, and are definitely at the forefront of the necessary adjustments needed now. Before I introduce this panel, just a couple of housekeeping items. If you have any questions during the session, use the Q&A at the bottom and we will get to your questions if they're not answered during the session. We're hoping to leave about 10 minutes at the end for any unanswered questions. And also early next week, we will be opening up exhibitor registration for the February 2022 AFA Expo Momentum Market. Hopefully on Monday, that's the goal, and retailer registration will open about a week after that. So keep your eyes on your inbox for that. So Retail, the Next Generation. Moderating this session, we have Karina Bogle, owner of White Bomber Shoes in Stratford, Ontario, and an AFA Canada Board of Director. Hi, Karina.
Hey.
As well, we have Bradley Becker from Becker Shoes. Thank you, Brad. Kara Trozzolo from Chesler Shoes. Thank you, Kara. And Morgan Kunitz from Kunitz Shoes in Edmonton. So thank you all really for taking the time. We know you have busy schedules. I'm going to take myself off screen now, and I'm going to leave it to you guys to share your insights.
Perfect. So to start, I want to go around the panel and hear what your biggest learning was as a result of the pandemic. So Bradley, if you wanted to start us off with that.
Yeah, so basically all comes back to e-commerce. I think we learned a lot over the pandemic about what to expect from e-commerce customers and sales. Basically, there's a huge point of difference. We can offer great service on the website and great standards, but it's just a different interaction between us and the customer. And it definitely helped us respect kind of that in-store just interaction with the customer. And the online customer really expects kind of their products to be ready, perfect, pristine, ready to go within a day or two. And just having a great website function, that was kind of one of our main points during the pandemic, because we learned that is essential, especially when all the stores are closed down. And just basically by having fit specialists also working the phones and being like having employees who are good with the products themselves, that is something that's very important for us. And we've learned that we need to sometimes we're fitting customers over the phone or over social media. So that's just, we just kind of developed tools on how to better handle customers over the pandemic, I think.
Awesome. And what about you, Morgan?
So for us, I think the biggest learning thing for our business and my brother and I who co-own the store is we never had the 40 years of experience of building up a business. Obviously we worked in it, but we got to hit rock bottom. So opening no door with 0 sales as my parents did 40 years ago. So that experience of trying to like build something from nothing, of course we had the brand behind us and everything, but it gave us a lot of confidence long-term through the pandemic that we could do it, that we had what it took. We got to try a ton of things because when you have no sales, you can't fail. So there's a bunch of little tweaks we'd wanted to make in the business, and we were able to do that without the risk of failure. Of course, the e-commerce was huge, scaling that to that degree, going from 100% of your sales being online. We still squeaked out 40% of our sales from the previous year online during the pandemic. So that was a lot of volume to push through, again, like fitting on the side of a road or on social media. And yeah, it just was, I feel like I'm ready to move forward now with almost like I built up a little bit of the business myself from nothing.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. And Cara, what about you?
Well, we started off with the girl who she ran the website, and she just found it all a little overwhelming. And so she left right at the beginning of the pandemic. And we had a really big learning curve on looking after our own website, that, you know, you realize how much you depended on somebody else. And it was a big learning curve to actually have to take all that on myself and learn everything and have to do it all basically overnight, and how to do more of the marketing myself, and how to run the website myself, and how to keep in contact with my customers, and keep my staff positive, and just keep in contact with them and keep everything going that way. I mean, we learned how loyal our staff really are. And I mean, we have fantastic staff, and we know that, but we just realized we could be so much more appreciative of the fact that we have wonderful people that work for us. And I mean, we always knew we did, but now we know even better how great our people are. And it's nice to be able to see that.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah, so despite all of the challenges that COVID caused, it sounds like there were a lot of really awesome takeaways from that. So our next few questions are going to be covering 3 main areas. So e-commerce, marketing, and the supply chain. So Morgan, was Kunitz Shoes e-commerce ready before your increased involvement with the business?
Yeah, we're almost 5 years into a transactional website that we continued to develop and maintain every month. That said, when we scaled it to this degree, we really found the holes that existed. So about halfway through the pandemic, we developed a new website, and taking what is service, how can we translate that store experience online better? And what we really found is a lot of people interpret service as having product. So right now I feel like people, if you don't have the shoe, you're giving bad service just by not having the size because of the shortages. That's what people are really focused on. So of course the sit and fit is a thing, but right now it's about product. So we wanted to make it easier to search and easier to showcase just that we have lots of shoes. So that was great. And sorry, you said marketing we're covering too here in this one?
No, sorry, just the e-commerce for this one.
E-commerce ready. So yeah, we were ready
Awesome.
and it was good, but then we developed it even more, and the new website's been really helpful in just allowing people to shop themselves and have a better in-store online experience.
Yeah, awesome. And Cara, what does Chesler's e-commerce look like kind of before and after your increased involvement?
Well, we've had an e-commerce site for about 10 years. And it would just kind of plod along. We did get a lot of customers would almost use it as a pre-shopping tool. So they would take a look at the website and then come in, and we would get a lot of people saying, you know, coming out with printouts saying, okay, well, I saw this on your website, I want to try it on. And now I find you have to really have a good website in order to lead credibility to your store. And your store, you have to have those brick and mortar stores to lend credibility to your website. And I mean, obviously while we were shut down, our website did fantastic and we learned a whole bunch of new ways to market our product and get to our customers and have like fantastic flash sales and everything. And so it's been a lot of fun in an odd way, but it's I mean, we've certainly learned a lot. The e-commerce it's on ever-changing, ever-evolving thing. I mean, we're, looking at, okay, what's next? What do we have to do next? Okay, so we need to keep continually working on this. How do we, put ourselves aside from the big guys because they've got a lot more money than we do. And, we still have to compete with them and set ourselves apart.
How about Becker Shoes, Bradley? Did you guys have an e-commerce prior to your involvement?
Yeah, we had a functioning website, but to be honest, it wasn't the best. And luckily, just before the pandemic hit, we launched a new platform on Magento. So that really helped. We wanted to work on anything from functionality to just aesthetically how the website looked. So just kind of upping everything, upping the game on everything, basically. So what we did is, we just took fresh approach with a new company who is certified in Magento and certified with developing a website that is best for us and similar companies as well. So we hired a new employee as well to kind of help shoulder the load because it's pretty important to have kind of a full team rather than just one person working on all the products all the time, which for about a year or two before the pandemic, it was just me working on the bulk of the products and then someone else processing orders. So basically we kind of tried to double our team a bit. And now we have more people working on the website and just making sure that, that everything's there for our customers and it's easy, it's quick and convenient as possible. So just generally, we did have a website before, but we learned a lot of how important it can be. And the pandemic just made that all the more evident for us. Yeah.
Where do you see e-commerce going in the future?
Well, for us, we want it to be its own store. We don't want to set a ceiling or limit on the potential of where we can go, but the reality is like we want it to be its own store, but we don't want it to diminish the greatness of what our stores are. And we still see the extreme need for sit and fit stores. So having customers come in, dealing with our well-trained employees and getting footwear that's right for them rather than just blindly shopping online sometimes. So for us, we'll always see the benefits in, our brick and mortar store, but, for us, we want it to have endless possibilities, but realistic at the same time. We don't want to, we're not international shipping items, for example. That's something that we probably wouldn't touch. But just working within Canada, especially making sure we're getting everyone from east to west coast, that would be something we would want to ensure we're doing moving forward.
Awesome, cool. So moving on to some marketing based questions. Cara, how do you see your marketing changing for 2022?
For 2022, I'd like to actually start doing some more videos where, have myself in them a little bit more. Our clients really enjoy seeing that there is a face to the business. And, it just makes it a little more personal. You can have some fun. You can be a little bit goofy and people like that because you just look more real. I've had a few videos where my son gets on there and he does his shoe review on some of the kids' shoes. And, people like that. And I think as an independent retailer and we're in a little more small town area, for us, it seems that we really have to keep evolving that personal look to the business and really have that personal look, that personal feel. And that's why people need to come to us, is because they're going to get that one-on-one. And they're going to, because there's this huge push on shop local in our areas. And I think that's probably one of the main things that will help to encourage people to keep shopping local, is just keep putting the face out there and just be involved.
Great, cool. So Morgan, if you're comfortable, are you able to share a marketing initiative that you're working on right now?
Yeah, so we cut all of our advertising, display, radio, print in the pandemic. We had a huge budget committed and we cut it. But we did keep our TV commercials running, which we produce ourselves 2 per season. It's a ton of fun. We just started doing it for fun, but the return is incredible. So we plan to continue to do the TV commercials and run those. They're very fun and quirky. And again, like Kara was saying, they speak to our customers. It's not necessarily me in all the commercials or anything, but they know it's us and we're fun. So it's a big investment, but we see the return, like when it airs, 10 web orders come in, and then the next day we get a response in the store. So that's really important. We're going to keep that. We aren't going to be going back to really having like an agency manage it. I think we know enough about our business and our customers. And like Kara said, using the tools like Instagram, Facebook, we started doing stories like religiously almost a year ago, and the payoff is great. I mean, people they come in, they love you're in the video, and then they see you in the store, they know what store you're at. So it doesn't have to be polished. You don't need to be an influencer, but just people really they do want to know what's happening right now, like what just came in now, when there's always a delay from when stuff shipped to when it's actually online where they can see it. But if you're on the stories, people get that kind of inside information. And I was surprised how much they care about the new arrivals and seeing cases of shoes arriving. So that's not expensive. It is time expensive, but it seems to have been worth it. Yeah, so we're just on Instagram, Facebook, and doing it all ourselves again.
Great. Bradley, how has your marketing changed now that we're not in the heat of COVID?
Well, so basically over COVID, we definitely allocated some funds to marketing more online for e-commerce. And we haven't been in TV, and we have a little bit of radio going on here and there, but I think our changes will be definitely the messaging. We want to try to promote more messages of kind of being together. But throughout this whole pandemic, we have all been embracing the marketing campaign of just get outside, embrace the good weather, and be active and enjoy the footwear you're wearing. So that's kind of something that we will continue to do. So it's not going to change a huge amount, but we're thinking of trying TV and getting away from some of the billboards, because as Morgan said, that type of thing is very expensive, and but TV is not any better either. So I think, yeah, as far as marketing goes, mostly content is what we're kind of looking at changing. If events really start to take off, we might change some of our marketing to be a little dressier. But generally overall, our message is kind of get outside and keep exploring in style, basically.
Nice. Alrighty, so the next few questions are going to be supply chain related. So Kara, how can suppliers help your marketing, and what do you need from them brand-wise?
Well, I think because there's a lot more focus on the e-commerce, and we're really developing our websites, and we need our suppliers to have that information for us ahead of time. It really doesn't help for us to write descriptions on these products when they come in, because we need to have everything at our fingertips. We need the images. We need, if they've got 360 video, if they've got the 360 photos, if they've got information about the shoes ahead of time, because it does take time in order to get them up on the website and get them ready to go. Also, if it's up on the website before our staff have all that information as well, then our customers have more information than our staff do. So it's good to have that information ahead of time. And I know that, you know, in the athletic shoes and the more technical side of our industry, that's not a problem. That information is always freely available and it's easy to get at. But I know that some of our other more casual suppliers, I mean, we do need a little bit more information ahead of time on that. I mean, the shoes are great and obviously we know about them. We've been dealing with them forever, but it's good to actually have some of that in writing ahead of time. That's probably where I would need the help from the suppliers, because our suppliers have been great. You know, we really have no issues with any of them. We've got good relationships, so I can't ask for anything more than just more information on the shoes ahead of time.
Bradley, is there anything else that suppliers can do on their end to help you with your marketing plans?
I mean, yeah, everything Kara said was exactly where we would fall as well, but always being willing to work with us on co-op dollars. You know, it shows good faith that they're willing to work with us, and we're also willing to, you know, back their products. So I think that just helps establish a good relationship. The content, of course, that's always something. I mean, we kind of throw in the product images as well, like for marketing. So just having those 5 images of the all around images of the shoe, any 360-degree photos or videos, logos, banners, just like having all that ready to go. That's so essential for us. And like, we don't like having to chase people down last minute. And just like Kara said, like having the descriptions of the shoes, like that's a huge thing also. Like when we're putting stuff on our website, we want to make sure the customer knows what they're buying. I always hate it when I have to make up a description based on what I'm reading on just from looking at the shoe or just from my own knowledge. Sometimes that can happen. Most brands are very good about it. Some of the stuff is in the catalogs. But just having that content is very important. And I know it can be expensive, but having a image or media database, that is also very helpful for us, because we can just go in and just pick out the images we need rather than having to chase down reps or marketing departments for all the images that they haven't provided. And then one other thing is just with marketing, like a lot of vendors have been doing this now, but they're actually telling us which are their like global marketing pieces or what they're going to focus on. So I know like Merrell and On Running have been great about that, and a few other brands. But just telling us like where the content is going to be is very helpful, because they don't take lifestyle images of every shoe. They don't take like on foot images of every shoe. So if you go and buy a certain, you know, you got your assortment, you buy your certain assortment, and then turns out maybe you didn't buy a marketing piece, then you might not get lifestyle images for any of those shoes. So it's just kind of having more on foot images would also be something we would that would definitely help from our suppliers.
Cool. And Morgan, is there something that you wish suppliers would do more or less of?
I think it's the content too, just like advertising shoes that maybe we don't have access to. Like if it's going to be the marketing article, make sure everybody can get it on platforms that our customers don't use or customers we don't have. So, you know, when you see that shoe and it's on someone that doesn't fit the demographic, I find that really frustrating. So we do a lot of our own lifestyle images and our own advertising because we feel like the content is so important. I need to put something out there that's going to speak to my customers. And just one thing we do, speaking to Kara, getting things in advance, is we do a line launch each season with our staff. We've been doing it online. And we pull together everything we've bought, just even catalog photos and things like that, and kind of present the seasonal collection to the staff. And we do a little tiny PK on every brand and what's new, what's not coming back, and what's coming back. That's been huge for the staff to be the first to know and to be able to talk to customers like, oh, by the way, this brand's coming back, or no, this is going to be discontinued, that kind of thing. So just kind of taking it into our own hands. I mean, of course, if the vendors have the information, they get a better plug in the line launch.
Yeah.
So my next question to everybody is, what do you most love about your business? Kara, if you want to start us off.
I mean, I've grown up in this business, and I mean, I've been working for our company for about 30 years now, and I just love getting in there and helping our clients. Like, we do a lot of sit and fit, and I love just being able to help them. You know, like, you bring out these shoes, okay, and you can see how much different they can be walking as you know, you just put a new pair of shoes on them and it's like, oh my God. And they're so grateful and they just love you. And so, I mean, and people would say, oh, well, you know, you work with shoes and you work with sticky feet all day. And I said, no, actually, I get paid to talk to people all day and I love it. Right. So I love a lot of the people that I've met in this industry. I've got some good friends, and you know, it wasn't something that growing up I was thinking I was going to get into, but honestly can't imagine doing anything else. Like, I just love this industry, and it's the people. I like how, you know, we can be so close, and how, you know, like, you can just go up and talk to another retailer, and whether it's your competition or not, it doesn't matter. Like, we just all get along, and you know, we can, you know, I know there's a bunch of us and we work together on stuff, and you know, we meet, go for lunch at the shows and stuff like that. So it's just a really friendly community, and you know, I love it. The customers, when they come in, when I'm on the floor, they can see that I love the business and that I love the shoes, and yeah, that's just me.
Amazing. And what about you, Bradley?
Yeah, I definitely relate to Kara on that one. I think for me, I mean, it comes down to the brands as well. Like, I love being able to give our customers great products that we've carried for years, and brands that we've carried for years and have never let us down, or, you know, they are very dependable. And just being established in great communities, that's a huge thing for me. Like, we're definitely, obviously, we're not, you know, a big corporate company, but we have a lot of stores in many great communities. So that's just a huge benefit for us. And honestly, I just love promoting good foot health with the products we carry. So that's something that we always love to do here. But I think just generally it comes down to just not being part of a big corporate company and actually feeling like you have a name and a face in the company. So, you know, we're able to plan with our managers easier and coordinate with our employees in a way that a big company just can't. So I think the more it's very more interpersonal, and I've never really worked in an industry that people have been really excited to be selling what they're selling. So that's kind of a huge thing for me as well, is like, a lot of our employees love selling the shoes, so, and are passionate about it. So that's for me, yeah, that's what I love most.
And Morgan, what do you love most about working with
I could talk all day. I love how exciting it is. You've never solved the retail dilemma. So I'm never bored, whether it's like I get to produce TV commercials or sourcing our own brand of footwear and developing new lines, working with the brands to build an amazing collection every year. Just doesn't seem to, the shine doesn't wear off. Providing meaningful jobs for my employees at, you know, living wages and good employment opportunities and room for growth for them. That's very important, like Brad said, in the community. And yeah, the job is never done, right? Like, you never finish it and master it. So I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's it. Never bored.
And Morgan, what do you feel is the foundation that has made your business successful?
So one of the things my parents came up with, because people had trouble pronouncing our name, they would always refer to us as that really good shoe store on this avenue, really good shoes. So we're like, really good shoes. Like, we're not the best, we're really good. That's attainable. So when everything we do, we just try to be really good shoes, really good people, really good service, really in a really great city. The kind of more technical side, my parents always reinvested back into the business. You know, when they did finally start making money, many years in, they put it all back into themselves because nowhere else, no other investment was going to give them that return. And that's how they've grown the business. In the pandemic, we learned that cash was king. So we happened to have saved for some capital investments at that time. So we had a lot of cash in the business. And my brother and I have come to an agreement of a minimum level we'll always leave in the business to weather a storm. So I think just like you're the best investment. Like, I know it sounds like I'm like a pyramid scheme marketer, but it is true. When you own the business, like nobody is going to give me the return that I can get out of my shoes and my business. So yeah, just put it back in, be really good. You don't have to be the best.
Love it. Kara, what about you? What's the foundation that makes Chesler shoes successful?
Well, I mean, we've always been the sit and fit, and we've always had people that would come to us for a selection of product that is going to fit their needs. And they've always come to us for knowledgeable staff. So we do try to, keep our staff trained. I mean, we have staff that have been with us. The longest one is 28 years now. Some of my rookies are like 8 years in, when people come, they know who they're dealing with. And and that's kind of been the big thing with Chesler shoes is I know I'm going to go there and I'm going to get a good pair of shoes and they're going to be comfortable and they're going to suit what I want. And I'm going to walk out liking the shoes that I have to buy. And so that's because, I mean, we do a lot of orthopedic fittings, and I know Beckers, you guys do a lot of orthopedic fittings too. And that's not always the happiest shoe that customers are able to buy. So if we can make them a little bit happier and, be thrilled with the selection that they are able to have, and they're surprised when they come in that they can get these shoes, then, that just makes us all happy. We enjoy that. And I don't plan on changing that at all with our business. It's just ingrained in us.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Bradley?
Yeah, I mean, exactly like Morgan and Kara put it, like we're basically the foundation of our business was hard work and dedication by my dad. And he did the same thing as Morgan and her family. They reinvested their money back into the business and always saw the quality of upping the game and, just keeping with everything that's worked for them. So he's got a dedication to quality footwear, obviously, but his just drive towards successful business models in the communities that we're in. So we're not trying to he never tried to be something that we weren't. And, anytime, he bought shoes that maybe didn't work, then he knew to put them on sale or try and get them out of here as quickly as possible. But generally, yeah, working with what we have in the communities we're in. And of course, I mentioned this before, quality brands. That's kind of something that's been a foundation with us for years. And proper inventory management would be another thing. So just, never just basically keep margins high and don't be too quick to discount quality footwear. I think that's one of our points and something that my dad has been great about over the last few years there. And basically just make brands stand by their products and return bad quality footwear. I think just have it as blunt as that. Like, just don't take a chance on anything that you don't believe in. And that's not as concrete maybe as you would have liked, but just having enough people to work with in the communities you're in is very important for us. So yeah, I'd say just great employees has also been a foundation for us as well.
Yeah, and Bradley, how do you plan to leave your mark on the business while maintaining the DNA of Becker Shoes?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, I don't have a concrete answer for you on that one because it's something I still kind of want to work on over the coming years. But Definitely want to make sure the website is its own functioning store, and maybe it becomes two stores in one type thing. Makes the profits of what two stores would make. But our hopes maybe down the line is to be able to serve more communities with great footwear. Maybe open a store up here or there, but generally I don't want to come in and change what's been great about our business, because why would I change something that's not broken, right? So I think we're going to keep the DNA by buying the same brands and just keeping the lines of what we're buying on brand for us. Don't go too far out of our comfort zone, and just make sure we're considered a family footwear store. I think I'd like to leave my mark by making sure everyone's included in that. So one thing like we're working on is trying to get teenagers into the store buying more shoes, and that's definitely something like we're struggling with a little bit, but I think I'd like to leave a mark on that and like try and kind of up the game on that one. But yeah, generally I just want it to be what it has been and continues to be strong. So yeah.
And Kara, what about you? How do you plan to leave your mark on the business?
Well, that one for me is a little bit difficult because I've been on the floor and I've been working in the stores for 30 years. So I think I have helped a lot. I mean, my dad's always been the one, he's got the great ideas and he's always, he never sits still. But like I've been in the store a lot more. And I'm not really sure what I want to put on it. I just want to keep the ball rolling and just keep evolving, but yet at the same time, still be that store that people think of. It's like, oh, I need good shoes, I got to go there. And that's, as long as I can keep that up and people keep thinking of us, then I'm happy. I don't have to put my name on it. That's not me.
Yeah.
And Morgan, anything you plan to keep the same or change?
Pretty much the same. I guess true success of leaving my mark would be to keep the business really healthy and grow it still within our own market, but to become a household brand name in Edmonton. So we launched our own brand a couple of years ago. So if, that's something that people actually think about getting time and time again, that would be cool. Being the crazy shoe lady, and also keeping it healthy for maybe another generation. So that would be the third generation for us. And there's kind of enough grandkids or my kids and the kids around that it is a possibility. I don't want to impose that on any of them, but I want to make sure it's in good shape. And we already talk about succession planning now. So especially because it's my brother and I, not my mom and dad who are married. So it's a different dynamic about succession planning and what that looks like. And so that it's prepared and we're all on the same page all the way along. So if any of them do want to step up and get involved and take over, then that's there. It's going to be there for them and we can get out and they can get in.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay. And so before we jump into any questions that there are, I'd love to hear what advice you all would give to future generations who are positioned to take on a family business. Morgan, if you want to start us off.
Sure. So I guess it's not for the generation, but the one leaving it behind. Let it go. Let it go. My parents, and I've seen a lot of different succession situations in different businesses. And one of the things I see time and time again is that the older generation is not willing to really hand over. My parents, as soon as we came back into the business, the books were opened, everything was fully transparent about how the business operated. So, 4 or 5 years in, they took their retirement out, they got what they needed out of the business to retire, and then they handed the keys over. So with the inventory, we didn't pay anything. So they set us up for total success. And they weren't trying to get anything out of us. They still work in the business. They work for me now on paper, but there's no rush to retire now. They're still paid, but it's like, they don't have the stress of running the business. And when the pandemic happened, my dad's like, you're up. It's you guys now. Right. So the final shares got handed over just 2 weeks ago. So I'm the official co-owner with my brother. And there's lots of fights and lots of coffees and a lot of passion still. But I really appreciated that they were able to let us make some mistakes and take over so seamlessly. And I think that that is really hard for people when you've worked with your business for 30, 40 years. So yeah, you got to let it go.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of becomes your baby. Kara, what about you?
Oh, well, I think, you've got to be involved in the business, and you got to know every single aspect of the business, and to be a part of all of it. And there's the old guy right there.
Has to make his appearance.
But I think you always got to keep trying, like keep trying new things. So you know what, there's going to be times when, you're going to try a new thing. You're going to try a new idea. It's going to fail. Oh, well, just keep going. Just, go back and revisit some of those things that you tried earlier and say, what, it didn't work 5 years ago, but you know what, maybe now's the time. Maybe we were too ahead of our time. Just keep trying new things and keep throwing things at the wall, and listen to your staff. Especially if you've had staff that have been there a long time, they've got as much invested emotionally into your business as you do financially. And they really want to see this thing go too. So, listen to your staff, involve your staff, get in there, mop the floors, shift the stock, be part of the team, and just always keep trying new things. Just keep going.
Love it. Stay positive. Hi. Bradley, what advice would you leave?
Yeah, I mean, obviously those are great points, and I fall in line with that as well. But I think for me, like, I would just say, to future generations, just be comfortable with what works first. So look at what's working in the business first, and just don't go try and change things right away. Just be comfortable with anything from how your business is run to just the overall business model. And bring the freshness to the business, but you got to first just understand who your business serves, both currently and maybe in the past who you've served. Because like, just because I'm young and I like certain younger styles or more colorful styles doesn't mean that we should just go and change the DNA of our business to carry all colorful things or younger looking things, right? You just got to really respect the customers who have helped you build this business. And I think that's something that I would just stress for people to really take note of that. And take chances on a few things here and there. Don't be scared to take a few chances, but just make sure you're staying tried and true to the overall message you've had since your business has started, or since your parents started the business.
Awesome. Cool. Well, so thank you again, Bradley, Kara, and Morgan, for the chat today. It was such a pleasure to hear your experiences and plans for the future.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, you guys. Thanks so much. Are there any questions from anyone on the attendance side of this? Do we have any questions for our shoe puppies? I just love that. You guys gave some wonderful information, and what came out of you guys was passion. Like, the passion you guys have for your businesses is amazing and uplifting and very inspiring. So thank you so much for taking the time. We really, really do appreciate it. I will, before we sign off, I'll just let everyone know that November 10th, we have our supplier roundtable, proactive planning for 2022. And on that panel, we have Frank D'Alessio from Cougar Shoes, Tim Stacey from Blundstone Canada, Thomas Arn is owner of SBO Distribution, and James Geddes from Authentic Agencies out in Vancouver. Or maybe he's in Edmonton. I can't remember. Anyways, thank you so much, you guys. Really appreciate you taking the time. And thank you, everyone who has attended and tuned in. And this will be on our YouTube channel by the end of the day, most likely. Thank you.
Thank you.